the reason, the rhyme. 5 things that mean something to me, and the reason why. This time, films. Gregory's Girl, a film I still watch to this day. Released in 1981. A beautiful, sweet song to adolescence. It really is. Fantastically observed, brilliantly cast. It nailed the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And for me, when it came out, I was 8, when it came out. But just a few years later, I was living the life of Gregory. In fact, when I was about 14, 15, I bought an uncanny resemblance to Gregory, which I'll show now, and sort of lived a similar kind of life to his. Don't want to say I was unlucky in love, I was more nervous, couldn't talk to girls, and at the same time I could talk to all the girls that weren't the popular ones, which is absolutely out of order really, isn't it? And you didn't see what was in front of you, rather what you thought was in front of you. So like I say, it's one of those films that if I'm having a bit of a bad day or I'm feeling down or low or something, I'll put it on because it's warm, it's sweet, life affirming, and it is definitely, if you grew up in the UK in the late 70s, early 80s, you will recognise all the characters, absolutely 100%. So yeah, Gregory's Girl, loved it then, love it now, will love it forevermore. Up next, Meatballs, famous for being Bill Murray's first ever film. It's a sweet and gentle comedy in which Bill Murray appears as Bill Murray, you know, the Bill Murray that we all love. Absolutely love it. I've got it on Google Play, I bought it, so I can still watch it all these years later, and I do occasionally. The reason why it's important as well is because I was living in the Netherlands at the time, and for the first couple of years that we were there, we didn't really have much English language TV at all. People used to send videos over to us, and Meatballs was one of those cassettes that came over. So I love being able to listen to English stuff later on of an evening. But the main character in it is called Rudy. He was a young lad, and I found there was quite a few sort of similarities between me and him. I too had stupid hair and skinny legs. He was painfully shy. I was painfully shy, constantly moving around and going to new schools. It was difficult to really come out of your shell, I suppose. And then watching that film and seeing that you might be shy, but don't worry, things will be okay. Let yourself go a little bit and things will be all right. I mean, obviously it would have helped having someone like Bill Murray in my corner, but not everyone's that lucky, are they? Yeah, it's a lovely film. Set in a summer camp, which is something that we didn't have, but I think back then it was, I don't know, it seemed like such a great thing to happen. Nowadays I look at it and think that's just a way of parents getting rid of the kids for months on end. But yeah, it seemed like a great escape. It'd be lovely to go to a summer camp. I'm not sure it would be, but it seemed at the time like it might be. Where you can get up to no good and the parents are not there to see you. So I love a little bit of escapism in it as well, but yeah, just one of those films that occasionally I'll put on and I'm taken straight back to the Netherlands, growing up as a kid, a skinny kid with stupid hair. So yeah, Meatballs. Next, Monty Python, The Life of Brian, a film I love so much. It's my favourite film of all time, I would say. I love the fact that my mum and dad were slightly liberal in that they'd allow me to watch things that possibly other parents wouldn't let their kids watch. It was a little bit grown up, I suppose, wasn't it, for someone who was, how old was I when I started watching it? Probably about 9 or 10 or something. I liked the fact that it was a little bit naughty, there was a little bit of language in it, but also that it was intelligent, hugely funny anyway, but intelligent for someone who was growing up, trying to be intelligent. Having access to things like that really helped, I think. Historical as well, based on real events or surreal events, depending on how you view things. It's really, really important to me because it was something that we used to watch in the Netherlands. It was another English language film which I loved because it was a little bit of a connection to home. but it was the trust given to me by my parents to watch it and not be an absolute idiot. Watch what's going on, appreciate the humour, don't go around quoting it constantly, which I did anyway, but also the fact that it was I think my first venture into, I don't want to say adult humour, but things that were slightly more grown up, a bit more grown up. It was the kind of things that possibly kids who were 14 and 15 were watching, and I was allowed to watch it younger than that because I was trusted. So yeah, it means a lot to me, that. So I have to thank my parents for being like that with me. I think I grew up to be a little bit more grown up early on, to understand when the time is right to be silly, when the time is right to be absolutely switched on. Yeah, so it's still my favourite film of all time. Anyway, there you go. The Life of Brian. Next, The Man Who Would Be King, based on a novel by Rudyard Kipling, with Christopher Plummer as Rudyard Kipling in the film, but more importantly, Sean Connery and Michael Caine as the two main characters. And for someone who's watched a lot of their films, I would say this one is both of their best films. And to have Sean Connery and Michael Caine having their best film in the same film, you are onto a winner straight away. Saeed Jaffrey is also in it, and he's brilliant as well. Set in, it seems to be a sort of Afghanistan era place even, where two British military men go a little bit rogue and forget who they are and where they are. It's a fantastic film, beautifully filmed, massive skies above them, and you get a real feeling of they are in the middle of this out there kind of country, slightly lawless. It's brilliant. Them two work so well together. The chemistry is absolutely superb, and the believable as the characters that they play. Love it, absolutely love it. The reason why it's important to me, this is another one of those things, is similar to the sitcoms. This goes back to the pub, the George. We'd have a drink after hours, and we'd normally put a video on of, I don't know, Only Fools and Horses, Early Doors, Phoenix Nights, some comedy or something. But one night, me and my dad, there was only us two left. No one else had a drink after hours, just us two, having a couple of beers and cleaning up and things. And The Man Who Would Be King came on TV, and he went, "Oh, it's a boss film, this. We'll sit and watch this for half an hour while we finish these." And we sat and watched the entire film, just me and him, all the way through, pissing ourselves laughing. And it's one of those nights that I'll remember because I've had quite a few nights with my dad. I've been lucky that way. I grew up with him. You know, it wasn't like my parents got divorced when I was younger or anything. I've had both my parents for a long time, so I've been lucky to spend time with them. But nights like that really do mean a hell of a lot to me. You can't buy stuff like that. It's lovely spending time with your dad, watching something, laughing together, having the same sense of humour. Means a hell of a lot. I love that film. To this day, when it comes on, if I start watching it, I think back to being sat in the pub on the raised area in front of the telly, just getting towards the end of these beers. I'll go and get us another couple. I'll get them. Brilliant. Love it. You should check it out. It's a really funny film. And the cast's superb. The acting, man. Sean Connery and Michael Caine. Do I need to sell it any better than that? So there you go. There's my 5 things that mean something to me and the reasons why. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like that 5, why not check out these next? Or even these?